How's it going, everyone? The Yap Attack is back. We are here live with Connor and Rich, two of my favorite Sigmarites. Gentlemen, how are you today?
Good. I've got chicken
Very
Alfredo. It's delicious.
Chicken Alfredo?
Chicken Alfredo,
I'd
Hydrating.
say it looks delicious
but you can't
if
see
I
it.
knew, but I can't see it.
The way
It-
this ends up working, we can't.
It sounds delicious.
It does
the
sound
slurping-
really good.
The
I'm-
slurping sounds delicious.
It is delicious.
I'm gonna be pounding down some PB and J's after this. So
Ah, man, that's pretty good. So, what time do you go to bed, Connor? Having so much carbs this late?
I usually still knock out at 10 o'clock. I'm so used to doing that it doesn't matter what I eat. I cut out soda, I think, though, for that reason. If I'm having soda, it would keep me up, but I can eat pretty late still and get to sleep pretty okay.
Fair enough. Connor, what have you been up to the past 2 weeks?
Ooh, past couple weeks, been getting some more games in, with Lumineth, preparing for WCW, and just testing out waters in general. I am not going to be playing our round 2 league game this round. My opponent Jeff, he was in Gen Con last week, and he's on vacation this week, so literally the only days he had available were the days I work way too many hours to actually make it out there for him. So
Sure.
I gotta let Justin know, cleared out. But I did end up playing Korn last Saturday, the new Korn when they book dropped, against a good friend Ryan. He's had Korn and Night Hunt for forever.
Did they run the new Regiment of Renown?
He
Sorry,
did
the
not
army
run-
the Army of Renown.
He did not run the Army of Renown. He's
Okay.
always been a big demon guy, so it's mostly demons, but he has some mortals in there. He had a Slaughter Priest, 20 Blood Warriors, 20 Blood Letters, a Blood Master, Unfettered Fury Bloodthirster, 10 Blood Reavers, and
Okay.
2 units of 3 of the Soggy Blood Crushers.
Okay. So you didn't have to play the boogeyman of Sigmar.
I didn't
now.
have to play that just yet. I don't even know when, if we will, but find out later. But it was a good game.
Okay, carry on.
It was a good game. We played life cycles, so we were practicing for WCW. At least I was. He's going to be bringing Night Haunt, but he wanted to play the new one anyway. So we played life cycles. That was a good time. Korn, what I've noticed is still hits really hard, and the mortal side got a lot more durable, which is good because the mortals hit on force, and I'm playing the army of -1 to hit, so
Ooh.
have fun, I guess.
You won't.
Yeah, sure.
Cow, Mountain Spirit, still fun. Strike Last is really important.
I bet.
I got battered so much. Is I have between my 2 units of Wardens and my Cow, and then my Rune of Petrification, I had a lot of strikes first, and I had a lot of chances of strike last. The Bloodthirster only did 6 wounds to the Cow before I killed him because I made him strike last at almost every turn. The Rune put in so much work for me. Well, they got some scary stuff that everything that's not in combat, Blood Tithe ability, where you just roll a die in their combat phase, and on a 3+, it's only your units take a mortal wound, else everyone takes a mortal wound.
Mhm.
That gets kind of frustrating.
I believe it.
But he didn't end up getting a whole lot. We did go over some things again, learning a new book, so I'm not making super aggressive judgments on this yet, but I think Korn still has some teeth. I think there's a lot more maneuverability. Blood Warriors are scarier, I would think. Who cares about exploding when you have... you could toe touch an opponent's objective, and now you have 40 wounds at a 3-up armor save, 5-up word save. Good luck ever shifting that.
Sure. I did notice, and maybe this is just ignorance from the old book. It did seem like a lot of the stuff moved to a 3-up save, just because they're trying to showcase the mortals are wearing heavy plate armor,
Mhm.
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I am looking forward to fighting more mortals because I know that's what a lot of people are bringing. they have a lot of their mortal stuff. I am also curious how this Army of Renown is going to pan out, just because there are some things that do go against it. The recent fact we got with how disease/burning works out with healing and res abilities.
Yep.
Really, that kind of changed. Nurgle changes the whole game when they play the Army of Renown. Disease they spread, they pretty much say you don't get your res ability unless you get rid of this.
Yes, sir.
So that's really good.
Nurgle's always been really good. Let's not sugarcoat it. I've always loved Nurgle.
Nurgle, I think, needed that too. I think that was a good change for them. But that's kind of what I've been up to. I'm going to be working on a couple more Stone Guard this weekend. Hopefully I can finish them up by the end of the weekend. So we are ready, and I think I have my list pretty much locked in for WCW.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Rich, my man? What have you been up to?
Well, Carlos and I played a game last Thursday. I think it was last Thursday. I don't remember. It was last week during the week on TTS. And I was playing Ideneth. I guess at this point the secret's out. I have an Ideneth army now. Carlos has my Ideneth army now. And actually, Carlos went 3-0 at an RTT over the weekend.
I sure did.
With my Ideneth.
But round 2 and 3 did not make it easy. I'll talk all about it in a bit.
Yeah. So I played. We played. I don't even remember what battle plan we played. I remember we played. It was your cities versus my Ideneth.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We played. I can actually tell you exactly which one we played. We played.
Good, because I don't remember.
I believe it was Bountiful Equinox.
That sounds
yes, it was Bountiful Equinox.
Okay. So we played Bountiful Equinox. Carlos did not realize that my whole game plan was to basically just go up on points early and then just box him into his objectives and never die. He learned after that game that my army plays just like Nurgle, which is just, oh hey, we've got some fast movers to do some stuff on the edges, but really what you should be worried about is how are you going to pick up those 20 thralls? And the answer is with much difficulty.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, it's more like it's not that it's hard to kill them. It's hard to make them stay dead because they just keep coming back.
Yeah.
Like I can swing into 20 thralls and probably kill 15 of them, but then the next time I fight them, I'm like, why are there 15 of them again?
It turns out
God damn it.
It turns out that when you have recursion in your army and you build all of your stuff towards that recursion, so specifically the ability in question is the Soul Render's ability, which is Lure Light. It's at the end of any turn, so it's end of every turn. You pick up to 3 Namarti units wholly within 12 of the Soul Render. You roll what's supposed to be a dirty D3, and you bring that many models back. Now, if you are in the Isharon Council subfaction, that dirty D3 gets a +1 to the roll, which means that even if you roll a 1, it's counted as rolling a 2, because that's how adding +1 to dirty D3 rolls works. So that means that it never fails, and that means that at the very least I'm bringing back what's that, 2 to 4 from each unit. Now, in addition, the Soggy command trait, I think it's Lord of Storm and Sea or Lord of Sea and Storms. It's one or the other. That one is right after you have brought back models to a unit, bring back an additional model to each unit wholly within 12. Sounds
like some Flesh Eater stuff.
Yeah, so one Soul Render in a unit with 3 Namarti units nearby that have taken wounds will bring back 3 to 5 dudes per Namarti of up to 3 units at the end of every turn. So it's I played against Kevin, and he killed me down to 2 Reavers, and I was like, all right, well, here's 4 more Reavers. You know, just they retreat away. Here at the end of my turn, here's another 5 more Reavers. I have 10 Reavers again. You know,
next turn you rally, you put more down.
Yeah.
This is flesh eater question. Now I see why. I think it was when the ad we talked about that. Nomardi point for point are probably some of the most cost-effective things in the book.
Yes.
When you just build into them. Achilleans still self-sufficient.
Oh yeah,
self-sufficient. You don't need to build anything into them. They'll just do their job just fine. And when you build into them, they just get better.
You do need some. You do need some buff pieces for the Achilleans. Hitting on 4s is rough. So Achillean Beastmasters is pretty much a.
Yeah, but at that point, you're like you've built into it. Like you take Achillean Beastmasters, you go into Achilleans. Every unit can just do whatever it needs to do, and it's gonna do it.
I would say having Methala helps a lot too, though, because +1 attacks.
Yeah, If you're gonna run 6 eels, I think it's a no-brainer running Methala.
Yeah. So that's with the list that Carlos ran at the RTT. So we'll probably get into that in a little bit. But so Carlos and I played a game. I went up early on points, and I basically just boxed his city's army in. Zenestra is still annoying. Italia Vedra is still slappy, but like nothing he did ever really killed my guy. So I just sort of slowly creeped across the board. And then I think in turn 4, like he looked at the score, he looked at the fact that I was about to score a 20-point turn again, and he's like, "There's just no way." And I'm like, it's just kind of what the army does. It just sort of grinds you out. And then my second game that I played last week was actually on Saturday, and that was my league game, and that was with Lumineth. I haven't talked about my Lumineth army, I don't think, in the podcast, but my Lumineth army is specifically 4 5-man Wind Chargers, Severith, a Wind Mage, the Lore Seeker, a 10-man unit of Blade Lords, 10-man unit of Wardens, and then a Ballista. That's it.
Sounds about right.
I think that's my whole army. Obviously, I've got the Shrine, and I've got the Endless Spells. That's it. And that was, we played on Path the Fey. We will be talking about Paths of the Fey in this, or I will be at least talking about Path of the Fey in this podcast, because I don't hate the battle plan, but I don't like it competitively at all.
Okay.
Ever. And we'll talk about that. My opponent was Nathaniel, who's in the Discord, and he brought his Soulblight Gravelords. It was 10 Blood Knights, Sakaar, a Vampire Lord on Steed, 20 Direwolves, a 10-man unit of Direwolves, 2 Barrow Knights, and a unit of Graveguard.
Barrowguard, I think they're called now, but Graveguard, yeah.
They were the old Graveguard models, in fairness to me. So, like, and I
still call them Graveguard.
I also only know them from Total War Warhammer. So, like, anytime he brought out a unit, I'm like, wait, I know that one from Total War Warhammer. We're good. I know what this is called.
I know what these do.
So we played Paths of the Fey. That game, I went underdog immediately. He went first. He got his 20 Direwolves across the board into 2 of my Ruse and my Blade Lords.
So many dogs.
It was so many dogs. They were dead by the bottom of turn 2. Because 10 Blade Lords is just disgusting. It's like, oh, sorry, here's 11 mortal wounds. And I did roll 11 mortal wounds. So it's 11 2-ups. And I was like, all right, here we go. Those are all 2s or better. And I'm like, well, that's 11 mortal wounds. Here's another set of 11 mortal wounds. It just
Blade Lords so much.
They're so gross. And then they get a 5-up ward if they're by a Sonari hero. A Lore Seeker's a Sonari hero. My Lore Seeker also did 10 wounds of his own to the dogs. It was a bloodbath. But what happened was I didn't score any points that first turn, or not many, and I was the underdog. And then I also shot Sakaar and the Vampire Lord off the board in turn 1, because Wind Chargers ignore ward saves. So it's like, oh, here's here's Graveguard giving me bodyguard. I'm like, but are they though? So we shot off both the heroes, and then at the start of turn 2, I won Prio, gave him Prio. So he went first in the first turn. I maintained the priority order, and then I swapped his 10-man unit of Blood Knights and the Graveguard that were still sitting on the center objective, alongside some of my Wind Chargers. So I put my Wind Chargers on the center objective, and I threw the rest of his units off to the Nether Realms. And then it was his turn, top of turn 2, and he couldn't move because that's how Path the Fey works. I then made a tactical mistake in 3, switching them all back to the center, which actually ended up getting my Wind Mage and my Ballista killed. But then what followed was all of my 5-man ruse all converged and shot his Blood Knights basically off the board, and I ended up winning that game. We'll talk more about Paths of the Fey when we get to Paths of the Fey, but those are the 2 games I played. I haven't done any. I did put together 5 Blade Lords, and on the hobby front, because I actually only had 5, so I put together 5 Blade Lords. I am going to put together my 10 River Blades. Oh, that's the other unit that's in my army. I had a unit of 10-man River Blades. I forgot them from this game because they died bottom of turn 1 because I put them too close to a unit of Vargas, and they got powered through to kill the last 2. That's why I forgot about them.
Come on, man.
I forgot they existed, right. And then I fucked up their position.
I forgot that I brought Eltharion.
Oh, yeah, that's...
Horn, Soggy Eltharion. I didn't even get to do the Soggy thing. He never died, but I was getting Ethereal off on that guy. That's mean.
Yeah.
6 wounds and an Ethereal 3-up save and a 4-up ward with the way that man fights. Ooh, it's so good.
Yeah, I got really lucky when I killed Eltharion the new Eltharion 2 weeks ago because my Leviathan charged into him, did like 5 mortal wounds. And then during the combat phase, did like another 12 mortal wounds, and he failed enough ward saves to just have to go away.
Yep.
Leviathan is the Eltharion killer.
Confirmed, right here. All right, Carlos, run us through. You had a busy 2 weeks.
Yeah, so I went to 2 events. I went to Cataclysm Games in Manchester Park, really close to Rockford. It was 5 rounds. I went 3-2. Pretty good, really, really good games. I lost to a Lumineth list, which was a lot of Blade Lords. It was like 20 Blade Lords, and then it was like 20 Blade Lords and a bunch of heroes. It was a pretty interesting list. And Shining Company really sucks. Shining Company sucks, and Obscuring sucks. So because all his dudes, like all his heroes were infantry, right? And so I was always at -1 to hit his infantry heroes no matter what. So I'm like, all right, I'm not getting anywhere here. And then Blade Lords just kept making them ethereal. Shining Company, yeah. I think if I had engaged that list, I think I engaged that list by not engaging with it, and that's how I beat that list. And then what was my other loss? Gosh, I don't remember. I know I played Tanya with her Flesh Eater Courts, and that was a really good game. Yeah, and then last weekend at Comran's RTT over at Dice Dojo in Chicago, I went 3-0. First game was against Flesh Eater Courts. That was a pretty solid game. The negatives to hit really hurt Flesh Eater Court, so I was able to really use that to my advantage. Then the next 2 games really, really sucked. I barely pulled out the win both times. I was Slaves to Darkness, round 2, but they had the Regiment of Renown that has all the shooting rats, and they're anti-cavalry. So he was just ripping through eels, and every turn he would just point at an eel and a shark and be like, "You're gone." He tabled me out by round 5. But I only won because at the very last second, I managed to use the Eidolon to take that last objective, and he failed to charge and couldn't get the 10 extra points. So because it was Noxious Nexus.
Oh, so
So I won.
the Heartwood objective at the side, right at the end of the game. Yeah.
Yep, that's what literally won me the game. Otherwise, it's like I was tabled. I was like, I'm done here. I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do when you're hitting me with like 50 shots at Ren 2 against my entire.
When you fly, you don't get obscuring on, and that map actually has a lot of obscuring. So
Well, it's not
kind of
even
get
that.
forced to just you have to charge him and just try to kill everything.
It's not even that I'm just flying. I'm flying and I'm cavalry. So like he's just like ripping me to shreds. And then the last game was against Robin and her Skaven list. So more shooting, more anti-cavalry shooting, and she had a lot of it in the list. That one I took it was the start of round 3. I was down 18 points and hadn't scored a single tactic yet. And so basically I was like, if she takes Prio, if she wins Prio, I just lose I probably just concede the game. But I got a nasty, wasty double turn and just pushed in hard, hit the gas, and even then, even hitting the gas right then and there and taking that nasty double turn, I only won by 5 points.
Mm-hmm.
So it still wasn't a give me. It wasn't I doubled you so I win. It was like, no, I doubled you and I have to keep playing smart, or else I'm still going to lose this freaking game. But constant debuffs. I was constantly a -1 to hit, constantly a -1 to wound. Lots of teleporting. She did not let me get to her Gracier to score my tactic. Kept denying my tactic because she just has so much recursion units, right? She can just keep bringing back units that have strength. So like I'm never out bodying her on the side of on anything. So I can't do Mash of the Paths effectively. So it was tough, but I managed to go 3-0 by a small margin. It was a lot of fun.
Cool. And then, what'd you place for 3-0? Was it
second?
Second, because Victor went 3-0, but he he max scored basically every game.
He was 80, 75, and 78. So there was an error with his scoring. He mentioned it in the Discord. There was an error with the scoring in the second game. It wouldn't have been a max score game, but I think it was 80, 75, and 73 or 78.
Mm-hmm.
I'd look it up, but like it would fuck up the camera.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna.
At Cataclysm, Hunter Erdman was my other loss. I played into Barrel Legion, and
well, that's gone now.
That's hard. And that was also pre Barrel Knight kick in the teeth.
Yeah.
That
was actually something Nathaniel and I talked about because he was unaware of the battle scroll. So he had 2 units of Barrow Knights in his list, and it wasn't obviously isn't Barrow Legion where you're just running that, but like he's now like thinking about changing his list because he's not going to be bringing back 2 Barrow Knights a turn anymore.
Yeah.
I think we talked about it. And he was thinking maybe going down to a 110 man unit just to be even harder to shift and still be getting
100%.
the recursion. I think that's what we ended up. Yeah, I think that's what we ended up.
That's where I was.
Yeah.
That's where I was at when I saw it. I'm like, it's still really good. You just take a unit of 10, you still never die, and you could still even take the min score, get the extra guy on everybody, just get it on one. You're still putting back a crap ton of wounds because you do it. You heal at the beginning and then you heal at the end. Like it's ridiculous when you just play normal Soul Blight.
Yeah.
So I think Silver Soul Blight can go either way, but I think just a unit of 10 now is probably to have, and if you want more, take more.
I think,
but not for Barrel Legion. I think Barrel Legion has the 1 unit of 10 and they're done.
I think just reinforcing units in general is really good still. I'm glad they took away double reinforced, because double reinforced, I don't want to run 30 thralls, okay? I don't want to do it, but I would if it was still a thing. but I don't want
I
to do
don't-
it.
I don't see the point anymore with like the way combat ranges work. You know, like
Mhm.
double reinforcing. Double reinforcing used to like make sense when there was in second edition when there was like people with pikes and spears, and there were no tactics back in the day. It was just sitting on circles. Second edition had no tactics, right? Every
Yeah.
single battle plan was a hold one, hold two, hold more. And sometimes it would have like a little bit of thing, like, oh, if you stand on this circle a little bit longer or something like that, but there were no tactics.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, yeah, having 30 models on a circle was like cool, but battle
It was the
tactics,
same-
it makes sense, yeah.
It was the same thing for third edition too. Like even with tactics and grand strats, like you double reinforce the thing. You're like, this is what's going to drive me getting my tactics or whatever. Most of the time, that's why you double reinforced anything.
Yeah.
Or you just had bonkers recursion, and
Yeah,
you were
also
running 30 Mortec guard, and every single Mortec guard that died, you were rolling a 4-up with your harvester, hoping that that Mortec guard just wouldn't die. On top of its 5-up ward, on top of its 4-up unrendable or 3-up, depending on your the bonkers beef that existed when you were able to double reinforce things. And that's kind of where my thralls are right now, is 20 thralls with bonkers buffs to keep them alive, and just then go, okay, well, here's another 3 to 5, here's another 3 to 5 this next turn. You retreated away, all right, well, let me rally this turn. I only get to roll 6 dice because I don't have cool banner models or musicians or anything.
Really?
Ah, I've got a champion, dog. They only have half a soul. They don't know how to sing.
They don't have a banner or a musician? That's interesting.
They used to have banners.
They do. Some of the models still have them. Like they have them
Yeah,
on.
that's how you identify the champion. Is with the banner.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so thralls just have a champion, no other cool things, and that's okay.
That's all I get. I get banners in some of my stuff.
Yeah, thralls are still really good though. I like them a lot. Any other things outstanding from the last week?
No. Richard,
Yeah. Okay.
tell me how you feel about Path the Fey.
Okay. So
All right.
a little bit
Let's go.
of background. The reason that this exists is because this round of our league was Path of the Fey, and I didn't know that ahead of time. So when Justin announced that it was going to be Path of the Fey, I had, I don't know, I'd say it was a reasonable reaction. I didn't like shit on anybody or anything, but like I've said that I thought it was a bad battle plan. Carlos made it a point to say that we really shouldn't be shitting on battle plans until we've played them. And then he had the gall to mention that we shouldn't shit on it until we've played it competitively, which is wild to me. But so I was like, you know what, I continued to bring up my points, and I continued to talk about why I think Path to the Fey is a bad battle plan for competitive gameplay. But now I have played it competitively in the league, and I will continue to say that Path to the Fey is a bad battle plan competitively.
Tell me why.
Okay, so I've got Path to the Fey up here, and I'll just
Actually,
go over the... Yeah?
I really quick want to ask you a question.
Yeah, go for it.
When you say play it competitively, what do you mean?
I mean that this should never be at an RTT or a GT. Ever. I personally...
Okay, carry on.
Yeah.
Carry on.
I'll explain, because I personally think that this game plan, in a competitive situation where points are important, this game plan is bad. This game plan has other reasons to be bad in a competitive thing, but in a competitive environment where points matter for your scoring, this game plan is bad. And I will elaborate. So, for those of you that don't know, this is the battle plan. I've got it up here. There are 2 territories, neutral zones on the side. You've got the slim territories in the center, so only 30 inches of deployment, more than 9 away from enemies, obviously. You've got some a good amount of obscuring terrain. Now, I will say, I actually really love this map design. I love this map design. I think this is great. I wish that the rules weren't what they are for this map, but this map design is gorgeous. It's got a lot of interesting things you can do, and it doesn't have places of power immediately available. The places of power are in both neutral zones, so you can't be making objectives obscuring right off the rip, which means that there is still some counterplay for shooting lists. Now, the issue comes in with the twist for this battle plan. You score 5 points for controlling 1, 3 for controlling 2 or more, 2 if you control more than your opponent. 5 objectives, fairly standard scoring. The twist, however, if you are the underdog, you must use the Spirit Path's Open ability. Both players can use the Stumbling Fourth ability. The Spirit Path's Open is all units within 6 inches of any 2 objectives to be the target. You pick any 2. All units within 6 inches of the target objective must be removed from the battlefield by their commander. We've already run into one of my first gripes with this battle plan, is that the game is about controlling objectives and scoring tactics, which also has to do with controlling objectives. But one of the most annoying things to have to do is to have to basically pick up half your army, if you're not careful, and re-rack it again around another set of objectives, while also figuring out if you're going to be able to fit them all on set objectives, and then figuring out if you can't fit them all, where are you going to be bringing them in from the outside of the edge, because that's the second half of it, which I'll get into. So all units within 6 inches of those targets' objectives are removed from the battlefield. Those units are vanished. Then, starting with you, the underdog, players must take it in turns to set up each friendly vanished unit wholly within 6 of either target objective and more than 3 inches from all enemy units. Each model must be set up as close to that objective as possible. Those units cannot use move abilities in the first movement phase of the battle round. It is impossible for a unit to be set up this way. It is set up in reserve as the lost unit, and that's where the Stumbling Fourth ability, which is pick a friendly lost unit, see above, to be the target, set up the target on the battlefield more than 9 inches away from all enemy units, and wholly within 7 inches of the battlefield edge. So, explaining this is already annoying. Like, having to say all of that for an underdog mechanic is already a lot. Part of, and I'll use an example from my game that I had against Nathaniel on Saturday.
Okay.
I specifically know this battle plan because I've complained about it before. Nathaniel was not aware of how the battle plan works, so I explained the whole thing to him ahead of time. I didn't gotcha him at any point. I explained that this was the underdog mechanic. He didn't quite know how it would all pan out. So what happened is in his first turn he moved his heroes, his Barrow Guard, and a unit of Blood Knights up towards the center objective. Took the center objective from me, scored 15 points. I think it was 15 points. And then I specifically did not take as many objectives as I could have done, and didn't score battle tactics in that first turn to make sure that I would continue to be the underdog, so that I could use this mechanic. Because what it allowed me to do is at the start of the second turn, I won Prio, and I gave him the turn. I maintained the turn priority. So he went first, I went second in first round, started the second round. I forced him to scoop everything on the center objective with a 5-man unit of ruse that I had. And then I used that 5-man unit of ruse to effectively block him off the objective. Because of how having to be more than 3 away from enemies, and also only having to be within as close as you can to the objective, not the center of the objective, but the objective itself. So anywhere on the puck, the 40mm puck, and with the ruse, with their noses touching basically and pointing outwards, prevented him from being able to put down his 10-man unit of Blood Knights.
Yeah, sure.
So his 10-man unit of Blood Knights get this was on the center objective. I chose this objective, the what's that? Naru?
Just say colors.
Top right objective, or top left objective. The red one, one. I chose the red one and the blue one. I put my ruse on the blue one. He had to put his blood knights on the red one. I put more of my guys on the blue one. He had to put the rest of his guys on the red one. And then it was his turn. His turn, where his blood knights, a 5-man unit of barrow knights, and a unit of barrow guard couldn't move, and were stuck on that objective for their turn. There was no one in range for them to charge. There was no real options for them to move. They were sort of just stuck there. He didn't think to opt to just put his blood knights in reserve? You can't. You can't.
Why do you think?
You can't.
Why do you think that?
Okay. So, the only reason that you can set up a unit as reserve is if it is impossible for a unit to be set up in this way.
Correct.
So, there was no impossibility because when he's putting his barrow knights, when he's putting his barrow guard, there was, unless he were to like specifically, because they have to be as close to the objective as they can be, you can't be like, oh, well, let me scatter them about so that I can't put my own blood knights into reserve. They have to be as close to the objective. So it's, imagine, Carlos.
Actually, so here's why you and I might actually have a difference of opinion on how this works and why I don't think it's as angle shooty as you think it is.
Okay.
And this might be something, right? All this says is I can target either objective.
Yeah.
If I target one that I can't set up on, that's it. I've met the condition. I've targeted this objective.
Oh, no.
I can't set up on it. I'm scooping out. That is my interpretation.
That's a crazy interpretation.
How so? It doesn't say either. It doesn't say must be set up on you. It doesn't say you have to try on either one. It says you pick an objective, and if it can't be set up there, then you scoop.
No, because it says players must take it in turns to set up each friendly vanish unit wholly within 6 of either target objective, and more than
target objective.
Yeah.
So you target an objective.
Which is the ones that the underdog picked. You have to get within one of those.
Yeah,
those are considered the targets.
Yeah, but
you don't say I target this setting up. You say I have to set up within one of these two.
Yeah,
I disagree. I actually disagree with that interpretation.
Listen,
that's interesting.
I'm fairly certain that my interpretation is correct.
Spicy.
There's no reason, like, it's not called out like, oh, if you can't set up on one objective this way, you can put your units in vanish. So this is, and as far as I'm aware, Carlos, this is how everyone's playing it too.
And I think they're playing it wrong, and I'll tell you why I think so. Because it doesn't say you must be as close to those objectives as possible. It says that objective, that being the target. It doesn't continue to pluralize both objectives as if you had to do one or the other. It's you pick a target, and if you can't set up on that target, then you don't get to set up.
I don't think that's how that works.
It's interesting.
I don't think that's how that works because then it really just doesn't. I just don't think that's how it works. I just don't agree with you in the slightest. I think that your interpretation is more angle shooty than my interpretation.
I think my interpretation makes it so you can't get just like what I think you think is wrong with this is that you can just like lock an opponent down.
Yeah, you can. That's
based on your interpretation. Sure, that's interesting. I know who to ask, and I'm going to be very interested to find out.
Go ahead and ask him now because I'd love to hear. I'd love to get. Are you going to ask? Who are you going to ask, Madigan?
I'm gonna try to ping her. Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair. No, I mean it's a good ask. Yeah, because again, this is my interpretation: is that you must set up on an objective if you can.
Yeah, that's the interpretation that I've also been seeing. Like, I haven't seen your interpretation, Carlos, yet.
Yeah, no.
But if Madigan starts supporting this, then I think we have something.
I still don't like it based on I still don't like it based on a couple of other things, not just locking someone in place. Especially since
carry on.
So part of, like I was saying, part of the issue that I have with this battle plan is that if the battle plan works the way I think it does, is that it almost forces you to. It does force you, in most cases, to purposefully undersell your own scoring points so that you can take advantage of the underdog mechanic. And I feel like that's counterintuitive to how the underdog mechanic should work. I feel like an underdog mechanic shouldn't be something that you shoot for because it's so strong that you will be able to win the game. It should be a mechanic that helps you come back from losing, or from a misplay, or from just like a bad set of dice rolls, whatever the case may be. I don't think that an underdog mechanic should ever be played for specifically to win the game.
Have I told you about limited resources?
I think limited resources should also not have been played at any GT or RTT. For the same, that one is so bad that I think that one might even be worse, but this one has more issues with it. Limited resources, if you know what you're doing, you can have a solved game state based on scores and tactics very early on because of how that battle plan works. This one, it has an opportunity to be a solved game state in the same way if it works the way I think it does, which is just by tying up your units. The other thing is it also allows a slower army to move across the board in ways that I don't think slower army should be able to in most cases. I think that that's less of an issue, though. I think that if it wasn't for the fact that it was all about locking your opponent in place, in my opinion, how this works, I think it would be less of an issue. But so what happened was I locked Nathaniel's 10-man unit of Blood Knights off in the corner, and then my Bow-Ruse and Severith ran around the board and shot the rest of his army off the board. And then I actually made a tactical mistake by I won Prio again in 3, and I gave him the turn, but I swapped his I swapped it so that his unit would be in the center, or all his units would be in the center objective again. So I moved them from top left to center by doing the same thing with my 5-man wind chargers and preventing him from placing his stuff. Because I was thinking I had the Rune of Petrification on the center objective, and I was thinking that would help. The Rune of Petrification, I failed most of my rolls, and then his Blood Knights came over and killed my Wind Mage, who was just sitting in my territory, and the Ballista that was sitting in my territory. At the end of the day, that didn't matter, because what I did was I then just shot his Blood Knights off the board with my Ruse, and then shot his Barrow Knights and the Barrow Guard in the center off the board, and I basically had him mostly tabled by turn... end of turn 4, I think.
Yeah, you said by top of 4 he was pretty...
Yeah, there was a 10-man unit of dogs that he brought in on the top right objective that he ran and almost got to my bottom right objective, but then I had my Lore Seeker and my unit of Blade Lords tie those guys up. He had his Vargheists teleport to the bottom left, but they got shot off by Ruse in turn 2. And I shot both his heroes off the board in turn 1. There were some other misplays that made this game a lot more dominant than it really should have been. But being able to just literally lock up a unit of Blood Knights in a corner, and I could have made it worse by just doing it again and locking them up in the corner, is toxic. And I didn't like doing it, but like that was the battle plan. This is a competitive, somewhat competitive league that we're running. And that's not to, like, we also didn't have the worst units for it. Like, he had a unit of Barrow Guard, but, like, no one was running, 40 Stabbas. Like, imagine having to pick up and re-rack 40 Stabbas every time. Now, granted, someone might have movement trays to make it a bit better, but, like, you have to, like, place them on the objective, there's a lot of there's a lot of other things that need to happen with that, and just being able to scoop from such a large distance too, 6 inches away, from the objective, as opposed to its 3-inch objective range. So that's what I did. I used my ruse. I got them close to his stuff, but not on the objectives, so that I would never take the objectives from him. And then my ruse would just teleport to where I needed them to go, set them up, and prevent him from setting up his Blood Knights, and then all of a sudden, his Blood Knights are stuck again. And this is one example with, frankly, probably one of the most, unlikely combinations. So, imagine if it was a Gargant, and the Gargant you just plop them on the center of the objective, and then you have to be more than 3 away from the Gargant base. You're not going to fit too many dudes on that, and even if you are, you're within 3 inches of a Gargant. They don't care. It's the same thing with a unit of Reinforced Chosen.
Sure.
You put them on there, and you're like, good, go ahead. I'll put my guys here as close as they can to the objective. Go ahead and pile in around me. Go ahead and be 3 inches away. You don't want to charge my Reinforced Chosen because they're going to just wipe you off the fucking map? Well, that's fine. I'll just countercharge you in my turn anyway, or in your turn anyway, because you didn't charge me and we're only 3 inches away. The battle plan, if it works the way that I think it does, prioritizes scoring low. And
But can you win that way?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you absolutely can win that way, because you pretty much just keep your opponent's actual scary stuff on a corner objective, wherever it's not close to you.
Yeah.
And you can just play keep away, chipping the rest of their army off. I think the caveat where it changes is you can't lose. There are some flaws in this, obviously. So you have to retain underdog somehow, and you have to maintain priority rolls, which is a gamble into itself. So that's where that's at.
I mean, that's true, but if you think about it, the concern about you have to maintain priority rolls. If you're underdog and you don't maintain the priority roll, and what do? They double turn you and they make you the underdog forever? Or they force,
That's when things get bad, because then you could just get ahead of them
Yeah, or they force you to go first. They give you the unintentional double turn, but then you're the one who gets to decide how the setup phase goes, because you're the underdog, which means that if you are smart about it, you can set up your guys in a way that negates the dangers that they're setting you up for, and it becomes really difficult. And that's the thing, if it becomes a point of jockeying for underdog, so let's say I go first and I know that this is the battle plan, I know I want to be underdog, I just don't score any points that first turn. But then what does that do for my tournament score? What does that do for my I have to. This is where it's bad for a competitive event, because if I have to think about I can only score 0 points if I want to make sure that I can play this game without getting some of my units locked up. But someone who is able to just alpha strike and wipe his army off the board, my opponent's army off the board, might be able to just go and score 80 points that game. Because they're like, all right, yeah, we don't care about this teleport shenanigans. We'll just hit you where there are no objectives because we're alpha strike. All of a sudden now you're dead on the floor. I get to score 80 points. You can pick whatever objectives you want to teleport me around. Game's over. Is that really a good competitive a difference? I have to choose not to score points because my army doesn't kill you turn 1, but someone who kills you turn 1 or turn 2, or just seriously cripples your ability to play the game, can just score points with impunity and rack up an 80-point round. It shouldn't be that you're playing for underdog, but if it works the way that I think it does, you should, in most cases, play for being underdog. And that's not even counting the amount of time it takes, the feels bad moments that you can do, the having to re-rack your entire thing. Now, I wish this battle plan worked better from a competitive perspective for me, because I really like the map. I think 5 objectives with the neutral zones on the side, the places of power on the side. So if you want to get places of power up and running, you have to run your hero out there. Like, that's all great. Love it. The little obstacle terrains on either side of the middle objective to sort of give you a funnel to fight over the middle. All great. Love all of that. I just cannot for the life of me get behind this underdog mechanic. It's just, if it works the way I think it does, it's oppressive to the point of being just awful. And, like, I don't even know if I'm using it right, too, because, like, there are some things like, oh, well, you have to set up as close to the objective. Well, it doesn't say the center of the objective, but did they mean the center of the objective? Or can I put my guys up around the puck and take up even more of the objective and prevent my... Like, there's so many things that are just not well written about this that make it very hard to both understand and also internalize and also communicate to your opponent when you're doing it. That it just... yeah, go ahead.
If I what I can tell you is that they've gotten rid of any instance of center of objective.
Yeah, so I assumed so, but like I that's how I was playing it, was that you just have to be as close to the puck as possible.
Yeah,
and,
that is correct. Yeah.
Yeah, but that also again cuts out a 40 millimeter portion of the objective when you're setting up on it. You know, like if I'm setting up my unit of bow ruse, and I think I might have been a little bit cheating when I was setting up my bow ruse. I might not have been fully in coherence now that I think about it, just the math. But a 10-man unit of bow ruse would have been able to guarantee that no one could set up on that objective, ever. And there are plenty of other units that do it. Any 10-man unit of cavalry, honestly, most 10-man unit of, like, 32 millimeter bases block a good portion of the objective from your opponent being able to set up. And, you know, they have to then respect coherency, but also still be as close to the center objective as possible, but also be more than 3 away from your opponent. There's just so many fiddly things that you have to do when you're trying to set up these mixed objectives that, again, it just takes up time. And it really you really shouldn't be building in things that take up time in a competitive battle plan. Now, I will say, Path of the Fey, when you're not playing sweaty, and you're playing a pickup game with your friends, it's great. Because you get all these weird, fiddly, like game-saving moments, but, like, if it takes 5 hours, it's fine, you know? It's not a problem, because you're playing a pickup game. But when you're playing a GT or an RTT where you have to finish this in 2.5 to 3 hours, maybe 3.5 if you have, like, extra super great time, but I don't even remember the last time I had 3.5 hours in a GT. It's just not. It's just not good. It's just not good. Even without the debate about setting up, like having to set up the objectives or being able to move or being able to put things in the vanish state. Like even without that, just the time that it takes to make all these determinations and measure everything and make sure you're as close to the objective as you possibly can be. Now, granted, your opponent and you can handshake and say, "Listen, we're trying our best. That's fine." But like, if you're trying to play this game to the most competitive level, and your opponent is like, "No, I need you to measure all that out," you have to measure all that out. Like you have to double check it to make sure that you're not like cheating, because that's what it would be. Now, again, if your opponent's handshake, like if you and your opponent handshake on like, "Hey, we're doing the best we can. We know this battle plan sucks." You know, that sucks, but we know this battle plan is fiddly. You know, we'll do the best we can. If we're not like perfect, it's okay. But the battle plan is so specific in how it sets all these things up that if you're playing a competitive game and you don't follow those specifics, then you're not playing the battle plan that I have an issue with. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So yeah, I mean,
I think I think my real simple opinion on it is I think in a GT setting, when you have 2 competitive players, I think it's fine. But I think in an RTT, RTTs are supposed to be more entry level. It's supposed and if anything, I do agree 100% that Path of the Fey slows down the game, right? And that is counterintuitive to how GW has been trying to design the game.
Yeah, I agree there. I think it takes up a lot more time than we want, especially when it's twofold, because I think one of my friends has been talking about this and we're discussing it further. I think this particular GHB kind of incentivizes having more MSU than I think any other GHB we've had in recent time has.
Yeah.
just for how widespread everything is, how you want to be able to get out and touch the objectives you need to touch, and sometimes you just need more units to be able to do that. But at the same time, this is a mission that, yeah, you have more stuff to move. It's going to take up space, and I can't say much more than what Rich has already kind of said. It's fun when you get to do it with friends, because it's a funny time, I think, more than anything else. You're going to get a laugh out of, haha, your stuff's all the way over there now, and then someone's going to countercharge you.
God help you if you have 40 clan rats.
That's what I'm saying. 40 clan rats. Ugh, I don't even want to think
40
about
clan rats will fit on that objective. I think they will, but it's the only thing going on that objective. You want to block somebody out, just reinforce. Now you're in reserves. You don't even have a chance.
Yeah.
That was an egregious cutout there, kind of.
There we go. That's fine.
It had to happen. But 40 clan rats, a mega gargant, a great unclean one cuts most of the objective off when you put him in the center.
Yeah, for sure.
Because when you're talking about setting up as close to the objective as possible, setting up on the objective is as close to the objective as possible. But like, it's a 5-inch base with a 3-inch bubble on the outside. If you're not running an MSU 32mm 5-man or 10-man unit, you're probably not fitting on that objective with a great unclean one on there, even then. And that's just 3 that I can think of off the top of my head. Now we're talking about manifestations. When you talk about having a Kron Spine or a Fincarnate in there, same size as a great unclean one, I'm pretty sure, 130, 130mm. So those don't even move now because of the update. So my Fincarnate sits on the center objective and says, hey, you have to be more than 3 away from my Fincarnate. But he's sitting on the center of the objective. Oh, well, I'll just teleport him out so you can't... Oh, he doesn't teleport out anymore because he's a manifestation. It's just like someone puts up a whole... someone does what Kevin did to me and puts up the bridge and the shards of Valagar. And it's like, oh, sorry, you were trying to put on that objective? Well, you gotta finagle around these manifestations that don't move anymore. Sorry. Good luck. It's just there's so many ways to like ruin this battle plan by just playing the game.
So the bridge isn't as bad. So the nice thing is predatory manifestations are the only things you're actually in that scenario because they get treated as enemy units.
Sure, but I'm saying like I'm saying like just the base, like just the space that their base takes up.
Oh yeah, no, they take up a lot of space, but then you're like, cool, I can't fit there, so now I'm just gonna try to fit. And now you're also in combat with the bridge.
Yeah,
which inadvertently could just turn off someone's bridge.
Yeah, so you could turn off someone's bridge, assuming that they don't block it with another unit that's there. You know, like I'm just saying that
it's a whole shenanigans that they got to do.
Yeah,
that's fine.
There's a lot of fiddliness with this battle plan. I don't like it because as techy as it gets, it slows the game down, and the tech feels bad. Like I don't like underscoring my opponent to make sure that I don't get locked up on a corner objective.
Yeah, I will say, even though I didn't get to play it myself, I was hammering it out with my friend Ryan, who I ended up playing later that week, because I was also playing Khorne, and I was playing Immortalist, so I was figuring out what to do. And I was looking at it, I told myself, the maximum points, if I want to try to lock in Underdog, is I'm going to score 7. That's the maximum amount of points I could score.
Yeah.
And that's even if I want to score anything at all. I would probably go for 5 rather than 7, just not be on an objective at all. I think it's all. Well, I think I would put something on an objective because I was still going to have River Blades, and there's that connotation of I'm going to put something that can tell onto an objective and see if I'm going to take it because I'm underdog now. Force you into a bad spot so I can go beat your dudes up.
Rich,
or you can't move your guys, and okay, I'm gonna leave.
Out of curiosity,
mm-hmm.
would you say that the best fix for this battle plan would be to simply remove the wording that says, your unit cannot move this turn.
No. No, I don't think that would be the fix I would do. I think the fix that I would do is either allow you to choose to place up to 2 units in Vanished, regardless of where you can place them. Like, if I could fit them on the objective, I can choose to place 2 into Vanish.
Okay.
Or, and maybe even probably or reduce the grab range from 6 inches to just the objective, just 3 inches from the puck.
It is so weird that you can scoop things that are not on the objective.
And that's exactly what I did to Nathaniel. I put
not the whole thing, just like
Yeah. In fact,
I'm touching my whole unit gets picked up.
Yeah. In fact, I would even say that it should say wholly on the control zone. If you are wholly on the control zone, yeah, fucking.
I still think if you're on I still think being within the control zone is fine, because I think what you'll see there is you'll see people that are like, oh, we'll toe tag right off the objective. Here's my 40 clan rats with 1 guy off the objective. Sorry, you're never going to be able to teleport them. You know what I mean?
Sure, but now but they sure as fuck aren't counting for 40 control score on that objective.
I'm just saying that like it shuts down some of the plays that you can make with it by making it wholly within.
You're not going to make everyone happy, and I think it's safer to do it that way.
I'll tell you why I disagree. Because of how important obscuring has become in this, right? And if you make it wholly within, that means if you want to benefit from obscuring, you're going to have to be on that, which means you're going to trigger Path the Fey. Otherwise, if you want to toe touch 1 clan rat out of your 40 to only count as 1, A, you're not getting obscuring, and B, you're not getting control, which means I can scoop my hero on there, count for 2, and I took it, or my monster, and I took it back.
But that's the thing. Like, they can still count for the 40 control score, even if one's only toe touching the objective, because he's not wholly on the objective at that point. So, like,
what are you talking about?
So 39 clan rats are on the objective wholly. 1 clan rat is half on the objective. That's 40 clan rats on the objective. It's not 40 clan rats that can be teleported, but it's 40 clan rats on the objective.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Guess what? You're not getting obscuring, so I'm going to shoot you. You're not wholly on the objective. I'm going to To
be fair, the obscuring on this one, tricky. Getting obscuring on the objectives is actually a tricky one, because the only places of power are not in your deployment zone. So you can't do it turn 1, and you have to run your hero out to one of those places of power to put them on the side objectives. This is why I like this battle plan what I like about this battle plan is this map is very well designed to allow a shooting army to still play while also giving a non-shooting army a chance to go make things obscuring by having the places of power in range of those objectives. But it's not as easy as it is on some of the other ones. You don't have any places of power in your zone to start with. You can't set up with places of power like there are on some other battle plans. I like that part of the battle plan. It's just, it also makes it so that, like, there's less counterplay to this whole objective thing.
Sure. I'm gonna be. I haven't gotten a response back yet, but I'm gonna be very interested to find out what that ends up being.
Yeah. So I mean, again, if I'm wrong, it's a completely different ballgame. But I don't think I'm wrong in this, because I just don't see why they would write it the way that they did. I don't see how this battle plan would be. I don't see how they would balance the battle plan around that. But I haven't thought about it. Maybe I'm wrong. I think my interpretation's correct. I think that's the way that they intend it to be. But we'll find out, we'll see. Again, this is how I've seen people play it. This is how I've seen it. How I've seen it played. This is how everyone has explained that it was played to them. So as far as I'm aware, this is how it plays.
Mhm. That's fair. Ooh.
Okay.
That was a lot of the Paths of the Fey talk, but I think
Well,
it's
yeah.
Carlos's turn to take the reins and yap.
Yeah, I wanted to yap a little bit about Windy City Waaagh coming up in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 4 weeks.
3 weeks.
No, 3 weeks. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. 3 weeks, Carlos.
And we were 4 weeks last week.
Yeah.
My God. I sent out the player pack today. Super excited about that. We do have one opening as of right now because we had 2 drops, but I was able to fill one of them from the wait list. But I wanted to go over what the battle plans are going to be, what the awards are going to be, and so first and foremost, in case you haven't heard, in case you don't check your emails for some reason, round 1 is going to be Noxious Nexus. Super excited about that. Creeping Corruption is round 2. Path the Fey is round 3. No, I'm kidding. Life Cycle is round 3. And then round 4 is Linked Ley Lines, and then the finale is going to be the Passing Seasons. So I specifically chose 5 battle plans with 5 totally different deployment zones because I wanted to encourage a variety of different types of armies to show up. So different armies, different play styles, different tactics, opportunities for everybody. So really excited to see how that pans out. My head judge is going to be Patrick Dugan. Super excited. He's been really stepping up and really excited to judge an event this big. I am still in need of a ringer now. So if anybody that actually listens to this is interested in being a ringer, let me know. Otherwise, it might end up having to be me with ogres, and I'm just going to run in charge. I'm going to run charge, and I'm going to fight you. And because I got shit to do, so
fair enough.
Yeah. So that's the way that's going to work out. And then our paint judge is going to be Steve Herner, who is best known for Holy Wars and Holy Havoc. He's an amazing painter. And I'm super happy to have him as my head paint judge. He'll be the one deciding who he thinks is brought the painted army of the highest caliber. So yeah, who brought the stuff? So beautiful. Super excited. Painting is totally separate from your battle score. Your army doesn't have to be parade ready, nor do you actually need to bring a display board to my event, but there is an award for a display board. Currently, medals are going to be presented to the Windy City champion, obviously. So whoever places first. Our second and third place. Best in each Grand Alliance. My favorite award, which is I Didn't Hear No Bell, which is the player who ends up placing the highest on day 2 after going 0 and 3 day 1. So I really want to help discourage drops, especially because one of the first tiebreakers for this is strength of schedule. And that can really suck if somebody drops from an event early. So the other thing to note is that for my event, every loss gets you an extra raffle ticket for the stuff we're going to be giving out, because winning a medal doesn't get you product. Winning a medal gets you the medal. The product is for anybody that has gotten at least 1 loss. And it's just going to be random, and you can't qualify for 2 things. If you win 1 thing in the raffle, that's it. Over to the next person. And we actually have quite a bit of prize support. I'm super excited for that.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah,
just so I can get some prizes.
The only exception to that rule is the best in each Grand Alliance. They're actually going to be getting a custom dice bag made by my friend that has the Grand Alliance symbols on them. So
cool.
Yeah, and I might give something to the Windy City champion. I think it makes sense. Still talking to Grognards about that. Probably the as a competitive player, right? It's really weird to like win and then like be given a spearhead for an army like you're probably never gonna play, right? You always end up trading it in or something, and so I don't know. Getting the medal feels good. It's an ITC event, so tons of points for a 50-player event. So,
It's crazy.
yeah, and just good vibes all around. And you can still qualify for painting awards as well. So, yeah. But then there's best painted army, fan favorite army, which is where everybody votes for the army they think looks the coolest. Best table terrain. So if you donate terrain for us to use at the event, you will be able to qualify for this. I have 2 secret judges that are going to be deciding which table they think looks the coolest, and then that will have a medal as well. Best display board, which is actually me and Patrick are going to judge that because only with someone with the heart of a Midwesterner can truly judge best display board. I think, in my opinion. And then sportsmanship. That's going to be it's going to be a collaboration of voting from the players and the judges. So like we're gonna. I want to be totally transparent about how that's going to work. So, me and Patrick and a couple other judges that are going to be there, volunteers that are going to be there, are going to be keeping an eye out for I have people that are going to be coming just to chill and like look at games. I'm having them tell me like, hey, like who was giving off the best vibes? Who was really being hyped up with their opponent? Who, did you see any disputes get settled amicably? Did you see somebody who was always had a smile on their face and really getting their opponent, jazzed up and, just the best vibes there. And then I'm also going to look at who gets the most votes, and who are the top 5 most voted for this award as well. Because I don't want it to just be a popularity contest either, So, and based on, okay, I talked to the judges, I go, hey, these are the 5 people that got voted the highest. Of these people, did any of them stand out to you, right? And I have a feeling that based on that, like whoever the top 5-ish most voted people for sports and the judges collaboration, we can go, yeah, that's our guy or girl, So yeah, that's transparent about how that's going to work.
Cool. Before we go further, question from me.
Yeah, talk to me.
Tables are terrain preset, or like you guys gonna go around and reorganize terrain and stuff every round, or is it gonna be player done?
So
Save time.
It was actually brought to my attention that there might be a bit of a conflict with the first battle plan, Noxious Nexus, because that one has 4 wildwoods. Because right now it is my intention to have every table have 2 big wildwood type pieces, 2 structures, and then 2 small structures, and then 2 wildwood-ish, terrain pieces as well. And then based on that, tell your opponents, okay, tell my players, like, look, every battle plan, I think for the most part, is going to ask for either 2 wildwoods or 2 area pieces, right? If they're ever asking for 4, then just treat these wildwoods as impassable, right? So like, so that solves that problem. I think for Nexus, the very first battle plan, I'm just going to say, hey, look, I don't have 4 wildwoods to put on every table and then just scoop off. So,
treat those as just trees. You can walk through it. That's what I've been doing at my store. We don't have like a lot of trees that we can use, so we're just kind of like, here's some ruins. These are counted as wildwoods. Just walk through them.
I think what I'll end up doing for that one for Noxious Nexus is, I think the 2 wildwoods will go to the closest where the deployment zones are, and the 2 area terrains will go further away. Because I think the intention is that the closer you are to the objective that scores the most points is supposed to, have that obscuring. I don't know. It's
all good. I was just asking if we were going to end up Like, are we going to be responsible when we get to the table?
Yeah, when you get when
just popping
when
in,
you
it's like move terrain, so we could just someone slaps one of their objectives down and we just go.
yeah, it's gonna be you guys have to do it, and I'll make that announcement at the beginning, like, hey, follow the rules of Sigmar. Defender sets up terrain.
Okay.
You know, but follow the card. You know, follow the card as best you possibly can.
Yeah,
Right,
I don't know how people have been doing it because it's a big event, 4th edition as a whole with the maps. But at least how we've been doing it, or is we just try to be like when I'm playing even pickup games or league games, just try to match the map as close as humanly possible.
Yeah,
You're not always going to get it right, but like find the terrain that size makes sense for that.
Yeah,
and get it as close as you feasibly can.
Yeah,
just every table, no one's confused.
Yeah, every table's going to have 4 big pieces, 4 small pieces, and my intention is to have 2 of each of those types of pieces be a wildwood-ish type of thing. I wish I had thought to have them here as an example, but next time when I have Patrick on, I'll show those off as well.
Yeah, and then for the area terrain obstacle one, are we blanket calling them one or the other? Or are you leaving that to us? Because that could turn into, some people might agree to have it be obstacles, so it's not obscuring, but it's passable. Or they could have it as area terrain, where it is obscuring. And then that could change games just table to table.
No, follow the cards for that.
Well,
follow
the problem
no.
is
The
that the
cards say is there's an entire terrain section that you say it's either area terrain or obstacle.
Yeah,
every card has that.
For example,
right, but okay, but let me look for hold on a sec. So
just look at Path the
Fey. No, because Path the Fey has 4 fucking wildwoods. That doesn't make any sense.
Yes,
it would make Grasp with Thorns would make sense, right? So for Grasp with Thorns, there's 2 places of power, and there's 2 that, right? Treat them as that when they're on the board.
Yeah, but Carlos,
look
at what
they're
that
talking
thing is.
About is. Yeah, read what the card tells
you. To turn the card around, look at the thing that is there. It is obscuring terrain, place of power, or area terrain or obstacle.
Terrain or obstacle. That's what I'm asking is, are we treating those one or the other? Because if player choice, then it can come, like, games can be different.
So
just based on what I decide.
Yeah, my personal opinion is we should always treat those as obstacles.
I'm leaving this completely to Carlos. I just wanted to know if he already on this.
To be decided. Let me confer with Patrick.
Yeah,
since he is my.
Can I give you my reasoning behind it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, area terrain's got obscuring. Obstacles do not, natively at least.
Yeah, yeah.
I think
obstacle.
I think
obstacle probably makes the most sense.
Yeah, I think there's more than enough, like, on these battle planes, just in general, there's more than enough obscuring opportunities for someone to play around shooting that I don't think we need to then be like, hey, listen, every single piece of terrain in this board is also obscuring too. I've been treating them like area terrain, even to my detriment when I'm playing Lumineth. Or not area terrain. I've been treating them as obstacles, even to my detriment. And not that I have too much problems with that, because obviously if they're obstacles, I can shoot people near them. But, like, you can always, if it is an obstacle, you can always do the place of power and make them obscuring too, because that's just how places of power work. So I think that an obstacle, just as not having every single thing, because I mean, KO's probably going to shoot everybody off the board anyway, because new book hotness. But
yeah, I think you're right. And
yeah, obviously,
that's probably where I'll lean.
Yeah, obviously, discuss it with Patrick. Let them know how, let them know the 2 sides of it, and then figure it out between yourselves. But, like, that's my opinion on it. Again, not at all binding. Yeah. It's just my opinion on it.
Yeah. Good call. Good call out. And I will have that ready for. Actually, what I'll probably do is I'll probably update the player pack, like, this weekend after I talk to Patrick.
Okay. Cool. You have some house rules to tell us about.
Yeah. So the house rules for this event are: you are encouraged to email me your entrance song. It can't be overtly vulgar, so please do your best. Justin already tried to submit "Fuck Her Gently" by Tenacious D, and that's not happening. The event is 3-color minimum, right? So it doesn't have to be crazy battle ready, but like don't be an asshole. 3D printed models are fine. Use your best judgment. If you have to question it, send me an email. No, I don't want any surprises on the day of. Same for fully 3D printed armies. I really don't care, but it has to make sense, right? I need to be able to look at the army and go, "Yep, that's what that is. That's that. Those are dwarves, or those are fire slayers, or those are Seraphon." I don't want to have to. If I have to look at it and have to go, "What is going on here?" I'm not going to be allowed.
Don't do Khorne Gore Chosen Champion AOR. Everyone's looking different, and I have no idea.
Yeah,
I'll be so pissed.
Just don't do the Gore Chosen AOR. Easy enough.
No. You do it, but you be a damn hero, and you convert your models like an actual human being.
Yeah.
Have a bottomless wallet and pay like $300 in aspiring Deathbringers, or just Deathbringers in general, and I'll give you a big hug.
And then finally, for my event, you do have to either have official access to your rules, or you have to have something where I can look at the actual wording, not like trust me, bro shit. Like, oh, I wrote this down and that's how that works. Okay, you need to show me GW wording of what that says.
Yeah, so I think a lot of this pretty much means like just be willing to either show what is on your phone or have it printed out. The printing out part or having it on your phone part, I think having it downloaded onto your phone, having it accessible is going to be very big. Come Sunday, if we get announced that Night Haunt Flesh Eaters get an update, they're like, hey, our Praetor's going to happen. That means that the cutoff for app accessible rules comes the Wednesday of, which means if you're playing one of those armies and that happens, have the existing stuff downloaded onto your phone.
Yeah.
Or have it printed out, whatever is easy. So then we're not playing Trust Me Bro in a scenario where I don't even have access to your rules anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't believe Carlos skipped a whole rule.
Oh yeah, there is one you skip. No party foul.
Don't
be a dick. Is what
if I have to tell you no party fouls, then why are you even at my event?
Then why is it a bullet point in your player pack, dog?
To remind people that we have a big happy Irish guy that
Andrew
he will pause his game and carry.
Andrew O'Reilly lifts fridges and stoves for a living. He will carry you out by your collar.
He's a big dude. He is a big dude. Like he will not hesitate to pot, and he's a really nice guy. Like he has to do something, I'm gonna feel really bad, even if it's for me.
Don't make him do something, guys. Don't do it.
I'll make him do something, but it won't be anything bad.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Woo 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 wee wah.
Woo woo wee wah.
Nah, he's a fun dude, and we don't want to have to ask the big happy guy to. This is supposed to be fun, even if it's a competitive event. We're in the Midwest. We like enjoying ourselves.
I only brought up that rule because I literally had the rules up and I was going through the player pack on screen. So I didn't want anyone to accuse us of skipping a rule.
Yeah, that's fair. We're like, well, you didn't say I couldn't do party fouls.
It's right there. It's right there. The rules.
It's written there. But cool.
I was gonna go over my hot take on who I think might win, but I'm gonna save that.
Wow.
I think we want to see lists. I want to see lists before we start debating.
I want to see some lists. I want to actually go through the KO and Khorne book. And yeah, I'm gonna wait because there's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot up in the air. I want to see some of the list. I want to see what the distribution is. I'll have stats ready for that show as well. I'm gonna do a deep dive into that data. So be ready for that.
Okay, I'm definitely trusting you to build actual slides for us. Then.
I will. For that one, I will have actual slides that you can have.
Perfect. Looking forward to it.
I have to change my intro song. I have to do it.
Oh shit! You know, it's not gonna be. Can nobody do it like me? Can nobody do it like me?
Oh well, I mean no, because it's not villain arc now. It's goaded.
It should be. It should be. I'm goaded. I'm goaded.
Yeah, it's but it's gonna be neither of those. It's actually I don't know if you've ever heard this song before, Carlos. So I'm gonna I have to. So I thought about changing my intro song because I made my intro song like when Carlos made the requirement, or when Carlos brought it up, like I don't know, March, April, something like that. Yeah. I picked the song, and I was listening to some pretty hyphy music, and I was like, you know, these would go hard as an intro or an entrance song. Maybe I should pick one of these. I made a 30-song playlist and have been listening to it on repeat, trying to winnow down some choices. And it's come down to some, honestly, like having listened to them all back to back, it's come down to some surprising choices. I think the one that I am actually going to go is way different than the others, and I think it'll trip Carlos up.
You know what song I want you to listen to now, Rich? Now that I've been playing Iden F, yeah. I changed my Daddy Fat Snaps hype song. Okay. And it's so appropriate now that I'm playing Iden F, and now that I've become a leader of Broken Ranks. The Whitebeard song. Listen to Whitebeard.
Oh, yeah. No, it's great.
Listen to Whitebeard from my perspective, and I play Iden F now. It's a perfect song. It's so good.
I mean, to be fair, that one's also titled The Goat, so like, you know, it checks out.
There you go.
Right now, I'll give you my top 5 right now. My top 5 in the playlist that have been actually sorted. Oh boy.
Do we want to debate
top
that,
6.
or do we want to do it off? Do we want to do it off camera since we are
already
bleeding about an hour and a half, hour 40?
Let's close it out, ladies and gentlemen. We hope to see you at WCW. There is currently 1 ticket left. Email me if you want to get on the wait list. And super excited. And just remember, folks, you don't always have to double turn her. In fact, sometimes that's not right to do.
What?
Night, everybody. We'll see you next week.